So, Abigail. May I call you Abigail? Why did you try to kill me? Come to think of it, why did you try to kill me twice? Were you under Rackham's evil spell when you threw me from the balcony and dragged me into the spirit pool?
No, that was me. It took a lot of energy to escape the spell. Those were the only times I've ever managed to do it. But it needed to be done.
So you tried to kill me on purpose?
I wasn't trying to kill you, Murphy. When you came into the house, I knew what you were trying to do. Summoning the ghosts. And in doing that, you'd free Rackham. I was trying to stop you, to save everybody.
I was the threat?
And pulling you into the spirit pool? Once you'd done that damned foolish deed, I knew we needed you in the house to fix it. So I brought you here. I was never trying to kill you.
Oh, I see. I guess we had a slight misunderstanding. What were those faces I saw through the broken glass?
Those are the faces I've seen every minute of every hour of every day for the last 33 years. Those are his punishment. I don't know how he does it, but it's like he can control your dreams and your nightmares. He can manifest images in your mind that don't exist, no matter how much you want to stop them.
Nightmares? So he's the one that the locals have seen wandering the house.
He was the only one who could, but until now, he could never leave the house, only manifest projections of himself beyond the estate.
Like appearing to Dr. Moray as Aloha?
That's right. Rackham was never a Loa, but he knew Moray would fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. And now look what it's led to.
You're free now. You can stop Rackham.
No, Murphy, Rackham's magic is strong. You may have broken the spell for now, but what he said was true. I don't know how long I can hold out before the curse takes hold of me again, but it will happen. I can already hear them laughing.
What are we going to do?
I have a plan, but I need you to carry it out for me. You need to finish what you started, Murphy. You need to find the treasure of Belmore Manor. Rackham's looking for it too. You'll need to get there first.
What's so important about the treasure?
What do you think the treasure is, Murphy?
$13 million? Unaccounted for and unclaimed?
No, Murphy. The treasure is much more insidious than that. $13 million is just what my brother spent trying to contain it. Listen carefully. I need you to know something. Do you want to know what the treasure of Belmore Manor really is? My brothers meant the world to me, and I missed them dearly every time they sailed away into the Caribbean. On one fateful voyage, they'd anchored in a lagoon to replenish supplies. There was a man there, so thin and weak he looked like a skeleton. He beckoned them along the beach, led them into a cave, and showed them an unfathomable pile of gold, coins, goblets, jewelry, the riches of 1,000 looted ships, topped by a wooden coffin. That coffin held a treasure more valuable than the rest put together. The skeletal man saw a shell from the beach in the hand of my eldest brother and offered to make a trade, for he knew that the item within the coffin could not be given away. It could only be bought or traded or inherited. The deal done, my brothers loaded up their ship and set sail for the nearest port. But when the dockhands opened the coffin, they fled and refused to return. Inside was a black stone that seemed to glow green from within. The locals knew a legend of a terrifying pirate captain who wielded such a black stone, able to make any who resisted his demands collapse dead before him. But that had been 2 centuries ago. Surely the pirate captain should have been long dead. My brothers put so much into researching the stone, scouring the Caribbean, conducting scientific experiments, meeting experts of the occult. And it all led to one terrible discovery. The coffin stone was a cursed artifact, able to destroy a person's spirit and steal the remaining years of their life for the stone's possessor. That pirate captain, who had ransacked ships by stealing the life of anyone who dared to oppose him, was now cursed, to live out every year he stole, withering and weakening without dying. My brothers sealed the stone in a vault beneath Belmore Manor. 3 keys were required to open it. My brothers each took one, vowing never to allow the stone to work its evil power. But one person disagreed. He had seen the stone and knew what it could do. The ship's first officer, Rackham. And now, he'll stop at nothing to get it, murdering my brothers, enslaving me, and killing you.
This isn't quite the treasure I expected to find.
Murphy, the treasure isn't $13 million. All that money went into researching the stone and then sealing it away where no one would find it. This fireplace is the entrance to the vault where it's hidden. You see the keyholes concealed in the mantle? We'll need my brother's keys to open it.
And I guess finding the keys is where I come in? What if we just leave it sealed up? Hide the keys so Rackham can never find it?
He will find it. I don't know how long it will take, but eventually he'll find it. And I won't be able to resist the curse for that long. I need you to find those keys tonight, before the wedding.
How do I even start looking for your brothers?
You need to speak to Madame Planchette. She helped my brothers years ago, and now she might be able to help us too.
Who's Madame Planchette?
An old friend of the family my brothers brought to our house to help them. Some people call her the Parlor Witch.
What will Rackham do if he gets control of the coffin stone?
Rackham fears the judgment of death more than anything. The stone will allow him to return to flesh and blood and remain here in the mortal realm for as long as he keeps taking people's lives.
He'll keep murdering people?
Exactly. And it's easy to know his first targets. Once he has the stone, there's an entire household of lives right here, ready for him to steal, including yours and mine.
He can steal life from ghosts?
The explosion may have interrupted things, but the spirits here still hold the years of life they're owed. They may never be able to use them, but Rackham will.
This house really needs its wiring looked into.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
The spell. It's coming over me again. Listen, as much as it frightens me to say it, I think Rackham might be right. Everything I do is making it harder for me to resist the spell. I don't know if I'll be able to break out of it again. I need you to do this for me, Murphy.
I will, just tell me what to do.
Madame Planchette will be the first step of 3 journeys you'll need to undertake. 1 for each of my brothers, each finished only by reclaiming their key and placing it in this fireplace.
I won't stop until I've done it, Abigail. I will beat Rackham to the treasure.
For all our sakes, I hope you're right.
I was on my own again, and baffled by the situation I'd gotten myself into. The $13 million, the whole reason I traveled to the island and then quit my job, was gone. I had every desire to wait until sunrise and get that taxi back off the island just like I'd planned. Free of magic, free of ghosts, and free of the very real possibility that I'd be joining them. But heck, plans change. And now there was someone I needed to see.
May I help you?
Excuse my intrusion. Abigail Belmore told me to find you. She said you may be able to help me find her brothers.
Murphy McCallan, come in, come in. Sit yourself down and let me introduce myself. I am Madame Planchette, psychic medium, soothsayer of the supernatural, forecaster of fortunes. And you're the one who caused all these troubles. Am I right?
Things kinda got away from me.
And now, we need to get them under control. Now, how precisely can I help you?
It was a portrait of the scientist Cecil Belmore. It was a portrait of the explorer Xavier Belmore. It was a portrait of the actor Yardley Belmore. The man in the portrait. The man in the... I need to talk to Abigail's 3 brothers. Can we cast a summoning spell again to speak to their ghosts?
I'm afraid not, Murphy. The ghosts of Belmore Manor could only be summoned because our spirits were trapped here and hadn't moved on to the spirit realm. The Belmore brothers were murdered months before the wedding. Each has long since moved on, however reluctantly. It's very rare for someone to come back from the other side. It can happen, but I don't think there is much chance of that here.
How can we make contact with the 3 brothers?
We need to conduct a seance for each of the brothers, a way to contact them in the spirit realm and learn how and where they were killed. But each spirit is attuned differently. I will need you to gather some objects in order to contact them.
What do we need to contact Yardley Belmore?
Yardley was a man of leisure, accustomed to the finer things in life. As his portrait shows, we must read tea leaves to contact him. You must bring me a used teacup.
What do we need to contact Xavier Belmore?
Xavier was a man of the world, a traveler across the globe. As in his portrait, it is a globe that we will need to contact him, but one made of glass, a crystal ball.
What do we need to contact Cecil Belmore?
Cecil was a man of letters, skilled with the written word. Like the papers you see in his portrait, to contact him, you must bring me a spirit board, a sheet of letters through which Cecil may communicate.
How can I find those seance items when I can't even leave the house? I don't even know what's trapping me here.
That would be Abigail.
Abigail is keeping me trapped in the house?
She was. A last desperate act to keep you here and free her from Rackham's curse. Return to the front doors, Murphy, and they will now open for you. Scour the island, search the manor, and bring those 3 items back to me, and we can begin to locate the 3 brothers.
I'll start looking right away.
Good luck. And hurry. Rackham will soon know what you're trying to do. And unlike the other ghosts here, his powers are no longer confined to the house. Just one more thing before you go. I have something that may help you.
A necklace? What can I do with this?
Return it to whom it belongs. Now go. You do not have much time, and yet the mysteries of our entire island await.
It was time to test what Madame Planchette had told me and see if I really could leave the house. So it was true. Right now I was living my very own ghost story, with a household of people who needed my help and a villainous phantom who had to be stopped. With Belmore Manor unlocked, the entirety of the house and island were now mine to explore. Somewhere out there were the Belmore Brothers' 3 keys. My first task, to gather a crystal ball, a spirit board, and some tea leaves.
Oh, it's you again.
Mallory, what are you doing here on the Belmore estate? I thought all the locals were too scared to wander around here.
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm having a tea party for my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
How cute. And what are you talking about with your new doll?
Our strategy for conquering mortal civilization.
Right.
It's rude not to introduce yourself, you know.
Mallory, have you been practicing ventriloquism?
Are you calling me a dummy?
You can talk?
I'm a head. Talking is one of the few things I can specialize in.
I didn't know that.
You didn't ask. My name, now that you're listening, is Sir Edward Teddington, or as Miss Wisp here calls me,
Shrunken Ted.
You're not doing very much tea drinking at your tea party.
I couldn't get a handle on the physiology of it. No arms, hands, or esophagus makes this a little trickier than it used to be.
And I am drinking it. Watch.
Not a fan?
Maybe it's an acquired taste.
But an important one to acquire. Tea was the fuel of the British Empire.
Then maybe it would be better in a gas tank.
Mallory was handling the teacup with the tentativeness of a toddler being given castor oil. May I have a cup of tea?
Nope.
Now, Mallory, what were we saying about manners?
Oh, yes, right. How do I put this delicately? I'm afraid this is a private engagement exclusively for the Sisterhood of Darkness.
Precisely. Remember, we may be planning on enveloping the world with a new totalitarian empire led by yourself as queen, but that's no reason to be impolite. Manners cost nothing. However, in this case, it is a private engagement.
Could I have your teacup if you're not drinking it?
I am drinking it! Well, I would if it didn't taste so bitter.
Mallory, you shouldn't be inside the Belmore estate. Don't you know about the disappeared wedding?
You're asking a little girl about murder, black magic, and broken hearts?
Sorry, I don't want to give you nightmares.
Are you kidding me? I love this stuff! I wrote a paper on it last semester that prompted a parent-teacher intervention.
Haven't you seen the Phantom?
The grumpy guy in the tall hat? Yeah, I've seen him through the windows of the house.
Doesn't he give you nightmares?
Sure does, but those are the kind of dreams I like.
Do you know Sebastian Bach?
Unfortunately.
Why didn't you tell me?
I did.
Okay, yes, you did, but didn't you think it was worth mentioning he was a ghost?
I didn't think you'd be interested. Most grown-ups just don't believe me.
So you can see ghosts?
Ugh, I wish I couldn't. Most of them don't shut up, wailing through the windows all the time. Sebastian's the worst, the booger-brained bighead. Thinks he knows everything.
But the ghosts weren't visible until I cast the summoning spell.
To you, maybe. I mean, they're a lot more visible now. They were just shadowy, glowy things before.
The fact that I conducted an occult spell seemed to be lost on her. Knowing what I did about her, she probably did the same every day before breakfast. It was Sebastian that made you get the tin boat. He altered the toy catalog.
I knew it! Well, that's it. He's going to the top of the hit list once I'm Queen of the Universe. If you see him, tell him Pock's in for a shock.
So, Ted, that whole time I was carrying you around in my pocket...
Picking me up and stuffing me inside your vest without even a good evening? That's the living for you nowadays. Rude.
I'm very sorry. I've just never encountered a shrunken head that could talk to me before.
Maybe you have, and you just never introduced yourself.
I suppose, but I can't go around introducing myself to every inanimate object that I'm carrying on the off chance that they're supernaturally possessed, can I?
Did you just call me an object? That's objectification right there.
How did you end up as a shrunken head, Ted?
Can you believe this, Mallory? Asking about physical impairments just as brazenly as you like.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was a sore subject.
Well, I'll tell you anyway. Me and the old boys were embarking on a race to the Caribbean, known as the Coconut Rally. 14 days, 14 islands, with only what you can carry on your back to sustain you. It was all going so well, until day 9, when I was told to seek out a tribe of pygmies. Perhaps I got a bit lost, because the village I found was populated by villagers of average height.
Didn't that clue you in that you were in the wrong place?
I thought maybe they were just exceptionally tall pygmies. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know. They were a very welcoming people, filling me up on pork and bananas, a nice hot bath in a pot they hung over the fire. But it turns out they held a different philosophy when it comes to head placement and proportion. Still, no use grumbling. That's not the British way. Stiff upper lip. That's what we need.
Ted, how did you end up on Devil's Rock?
I was brought back here on a merchant ship by a strange man in a top hat who settled on me as a souvenir. Can you believe it? The indignity of being swapped and saying I was only worth 2 chickens.
I'd say at least 3.
Exactly.
And now you're helping a little girl take over the world, Ted?
Look, I was a little late getting in on the British Empire, and now its height has passed me by. I don't want to miss out again. This is my opportunity to get my foot on the ladder of a new attempt.
More like your chin on the ladder.
Very funny. You know, I have other interests too. You really need to get to know me as a person. I'm very well-rounded.
Of course you're round. You're just ahead.
The jokes just keep coming, don't they?
Well, I'll leave you two to your plans.
Long live the sisterhood!
A bone china teapot sat at the center of the table. It was perhaps the first time in decades the gazebo had been used for a tea party. It was Shrunken Ted, faced with that most British of nightmares, an inability to drink a cup of tea. It was a small teaspoon for the tea party. While Mallory looked like a little girl playing Let's Pretend, I was entirely convinced her dictatorial ambitions were nothing less than sincere. Mallory's teacup sat undisturbed in front of her. She stared at it with a scowl that implied its choice of flavor. Do you mind if I take this?
Good idea. You can be my butler. Then we bribe the kindergarteners and use them for espionage.
Shh, shh, shh. He's back.
teapot was empty. A bone china teapot.
Hey, leave that alone. I'm drinking it.
I thought you didn't like it.
Maybe it's an acquired taste.
I wasn't going to take Mallory's new The parasol had landed decidedly out of reach. It was Tallulah LaRue's parasol, blown onto the carriage house after I dropped it on the roof. There was nothing else I could take from the animal skull. The doors were firmly locked. The wheel was too heavy to move. I needed to think of something else. That didn't work. I dunked the teaspoon into the molasses.
Then we stockpiled the phys ed equipment and used the hockey sticks as swords.
Quiet, quiet. It's him again.
That was going to be better in her tea.
What did you just put in my tea?
Try it now.
Careful, Mallory. It could be poisoned.
Does this dope look smart enough to brew poison?
Good point. He'd probably give it a taste test. Bottoms up, my girl. Drink on!
Hey, that tastes pretty good.
I thought you'd like it.
Sure did. I drank the whole cup.
Let me clear this away for you.
Good, Butler. You shall be spared the dungeons. Then we take over the monkey bars and rename it Fort Mallory.
Ah, look who's back.
I didn't need it.
Then we hypnotize the middle schoolers to be our Imperial Guard.
Oh, we've got company.
Then we blackmail the teachers with the things I saw on New Year's.
Loose lips, Mallory. Shh. Shh.
It was a small porcelain teacup with leftover tea leaves at the bottom. The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile? I didn't want to touch it. I hadn't seen. I tried the door, but it was locked. I needed to think of something else. That That wasn't going to work. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'd bothered the chicken enough. Now that the chicken was enjoying the fresh air, there was nothing of interest in the chicken coop. I took a handful of the spilled gunpowder. I couldn't do that. Nope. That wasn't going to work. I couldn't do that. I needed to think of something else. I didn't need to blow on that. That wasn't going to work. I didn't need to cut that. That didn't work. That wasn't going to work. I didn't need to cut that. It was a small metal tool. The auger would have been lucky to make a scratch on the bulky lock. The lock was much too sturdy to get through with pliers. Returning to St. Juniper's Church, it was clear by the illuminated windows and the repetitive hum of a newly placed generator that the rum runners had made themselves at home. It was a fuse in the generator to ensure the electrics didn't get overloaded. I didn't need the fuse. I couldn't do anything with an empty socket. Without a second fuse installed, the dial refused to turn. Nope. That didn't work. That wasn't going to work. It was a peeling sticker. The sticker read, "Property of the Dead Nettle Police Department, not to be removed." It was a peeling sticker on an I didn't...
Musket! Did you hear that?
Will you stop twitching, Morris? You're making me nervous.
Sorry, boss. I just don't know if we should be doing this.
Doing what?
using a church for morally dubious activities. Theology lays out pathways and guidelines to keep us on the moral road to righteousness.
Did one of those barrels hit you on the head, Morris? Quit your belly aching. What's the worst that could happen?
I'm getting the spooks, boss. This church has a lot of dead people. What if they don't like us being in here?
Is that what you're worried about? Ghosts ain't real. Now hush up about it.
I don't know, boss. The scientific consensus on paranormal activity still seems to be inconclusive. I read a book about it last week, and it's really giving me the heebie-jeebies.
What have I told you about reading? It's no good for you. It gives you delusions of grandeur and indigestion.
Sorry, boss.
Just for the sake of argument, this book you was reading. What did it say about ghosts?
It said that there are 3 signs for detecting paranormal activity.
What's the first sign?
First, the temperature drops as the ghost's presence descends upon the locality.
Well then, until we start getting the chills, there ain't nothing to worry about.
It wouldn't have been wise to reveal myself to the rum runners by ringing the bell. Turning the fan off would have alerted the rum runners to my presence. The collection plate was empty. Now wasn't the time for a sit-down. I couldn't see anything to do with the statue. I didn't think the rum runners would appreciate me offering to start up their Now that I'd looked upon the lifeless face of I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. I scanned the head. I looked to the bottom of the grave, but could only see dirt and darkness. Good evening, Edgar.
Ah, plastic. Not again. I go all night as the only one in this cemetery with a pulse. Then here you are bringing me 2 steps closer to losing it. What do you want now?
Just taking a look around. It's peaceful here.
It was.
What are you digging?
I thought the cemetery could do with a swimming pool. Put out some deck chairs, maybe a tiki bar. What do you think I'm digging? Another grave.
Who's this one for?
Reginald Goff. He was the state executioner in the next parish over.
How did he die?
His last convict was a bit nervous about being executed by the electric chair. When Goff asked him if he had any final requests, the convict asked if he could hold his hand for support.
Shocking.
Then I've got Marigold McGee to deal with before I can clock off. That'll be a headache.
What's so difficult about Marigold McGee?
She asked for her remains to be scattered across the island.
That doesn't seem so bad.
The problem is she didn't want to be cremated.
The ghost stories are real.
Well, I don't want to hear them. I don't like to think about ghosts.
Why not?
Because they'd be bad for business. I have my work cut out here with the dead as it is. Imagine if they came back asking for a refund.
Has the cemetery been here long?
This cemetery is the whole reason Devil's Rock is populated. Back when the mainland was first settled, they used to ship off the bodies of undesirables to be buried here. The criminals and paupers. St. Juniper's Church up on the hill was one of the first structures here, along with the fort. So that's what this place became. A cemetery island. A place where only Beelzebub himself would take the bodies that were interred in its soil. The Devil's Rock.
Creepy. I think the Rum Runners are using the church as a hideout.
What do you want me to do about it? My job description says I deal with the outside. It's the vicar's responsibility to take care of the inside. I'm just contracted for the grounds and the graves.
Do you know what happened to the vicar of St. Juniper's Church?
Foskett was his name. Disappeared along with everyone else at the manor during the Belmore wedding.
Did you get along with him?
No! Miserable guy he was. Fortunately, we came to an understanding.
An understanding?
Let's just say that one night, I might have witnessed a certain clergyman through the vestry window. Off his head on communion wine, wearing a crinoline over his cassock, singing, "We three kings of Jackson Square, selling stockings a nickel a pair." He couldn't look me in the eye after that. The only way we communicated was through notes on the parish bulletin board. And that's the way I liked it.
There's a dead body over at Belmore Manor hanging from a tree.
So, what do you want me to do about it?
Shouldn't you bury it?
If it manages to wander its way over here, I'll bury it. Until then, I'm not stepping foot onto the Belmore estate. I've heard the stories about the Phantom, and I'm not risking my shut-eye to rescue a cadaver from a tree like some stuck kitten.
Do you know who the hanged man is?
Beats me. But from what I've heard, it's been there ever since that wedding night.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a door. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good. My trek through the bayou was easier on the return. My destination glowed green through the bald cypress trees. And then I saw why. The Spirit Queen was now a smoldering wreck, the embers of the green fire still glowing from within. I wondered if I could reach the telegrams. Well, that answered that. I may have been new to the bayou, but even the riverboat looked like it might. There was nothing else of interest in the. I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked. The sign read Dockmaster. Presumably, this little shack was where documents and licenses pertaining to the riverboat's operation were stored. I considered climbing the water tower, but I couldn't imagine what I'd find at the top other than stagnant, moldy water. And there was plenty of that in the bayou already. The tide was still high as I returned to the Causeway Beach, while the sands were now the purlieu of a rather strange gentleman jabbing at the rocks with a walking stick. I glanced at the book's cover and was more than surprised to read the title, Dunstan the Dinosaur, above a drawing of a bulbous yellow triceratops walking on 2 legs and wearing a bowler hat. I picked up the vacuum flask from the portable table.
Careful where you step! Look, another one!
Another what?
A pebble! Don't step on them.
There are pebbles all over this beach. There's not many places I can stand that don't have them.
But they could be important.
My name's Murphy McCallan. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yes. Hello. Pleased to meet you. I'm Muffy Carlyle.
Wait, I think I've heard of you. Doesn't your family run a banking firm in New York?
That's the one. Are you familiar with the Carlisle Provincial Accounts and Joint Stock Corporation?
Actually, the reason I remembered you was because I was amazed the owner had a son named Muffy.
It's a nickname. Nanny gave it to me because my ears were always cold.
What's so important about the pebbles?
It's not the pebbles themselves. It's what's inside them.
What's inside the pebbles?
Dinosaurs.
I'm sorry. I think I'm missing something here. You think there are dinosaurs living inside the rocks?
Not living. They're extinct. So I've been told. But skulls, bones, fossils.
Oh, you're a fossil hunter?
That's right. But this beach seems terrible for them.
Why is this beach terrible for fossil hunting?
Too many people wandering across here. The place has been picked dry. I need somewhere secluded. A beach no one ever goes to. Are you from around here? Do you know anywhere like that?
I'm afraid I don't.
Well, do let me know if you find anywhere. I'd pay a pretty penny to go somewhere with potential.
Have you found many fossils before?
Only one. It was in our flower garden. The summer house, actually.
Fascinating. Where did you find it?
In a plant pot.
A plant pot? Shouldn't it have been in the ground?
Yes. Nanny told me she planted it there for me to find. Couldn't stand the look of disappointment on my face.
Oh, this was when you were a child.
No, last week.
What's that book over there on the table?
That's my research text, all about dinosaurs.
A paleontology textbook?
No, Dunstan the Dinosaur. A thrilling series of books for the young reader. And the reader who is young at heart. My favorite is Dunstan and the Mysterious Meteor from Mars.
Have you been out here long?
Just a couple of hours. Rufus dropped me off just after supper.
Dropped you off, but the causeway is flooded over.
I didn't come via the causeway. I got here on the yacht.
You have a boat?
The Plucky Plesiosaur. I named it myself.
Do you work for your father's company too?
That's right. I'm Executive Director of New Initiatives.
And what exactly does that entail?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But Papa does say it requires me to be out of the office as much as humanly possible. Muffy, he tells me, if I have to see your face around here, I'll end up moving to Tibet and joining a monastery. So even if I'm not sure exactly what my job is, clearly it is very important.
Well, good luck with your search.
I'll never give up. That's the dinosaur way.
Life continued on at Dead Nettle, its citizens oblivious to the supernatural struggle happening on the far side of the island. Even with their predilection for local legend, I doubted they'd believe me if I told them.
Welcome back!
The neck of the bottle was far too narrow for the pudgy little goldfish to swim through. Scooping the goldfish up with the teacup would have ruined its tea leaf pattern. That didn't work. I didn't need to look at that more closely. Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How come you're working so late?
Well, the wife's gone to visit her cousin Winnie for a few days. And if I stayed in my bedroom, I'd just start going loopy.
I'm looking for 3 keys.
No, unless they're the gem-encrusted keys to a lady's heart, I don't think I can help you. I'm a jeweler, not a locksmith.
Have you heard of something called the Coffin Stone? Jasper's eyes grew to double their size with a look of both excitement and fear.
How do you know about that?
I'm starting to think it's real.
I thought you didn't believe my tale about the ghost ship.
I do now.
Then I'm happy to tell you everything I know. Now, don't be telling anyone this, but I've read the captain's log, and the Coffin Stone was what murdered my great-great-grandfather's crew. Try telling people that a little bit of rock could allow a single pirate to overrun a galleon, and you're laughed at. But that's exactly what he says happened. 86 crew members, all killed by a magic stone. Their souls dragged from their bodies.
Who was wielding the stone?
A pirate called Captain Skelet. Truth be told, he wasn't much of a pirate for the first years of his career on the high seas, but almost overnight he became the most feared gentleman ever to fly the black flag.
What happened to him?
Nobody knows.
And the stone?
Nobody knows that either. But if you hear anything, do tell me.
Are these fossils for sale?
Goodness me, you're the second person today to ask me about them.
Let me guess. The first one was a gentleman called Muffy?
I didn't catch his name, but he pressed his face up against the cabinet so hard he left nose prints on the glass. Wouldn't stop asking questions about where I found them. Seemed to think they were from here on the island. Didn't have the heart to tell him I brought them all back from a vacation in Grimstone, Arizona. Total time waster. Who was he anyway? Friend of yours?
Not exactly. His name is Muffy Carlyle.
Of the Carlyle Provincial Accounts and Joint Stock Corporation?
That's him.
You mean to tell me one of the richest men in the country was in my store? My store, selling the finest watches, necklaces, jewelry, and rings? And all he wanted to talk about was rocks and bones? Excuse me, I feel a little faint.
Do you think I could buy a fossil?
You certainly can, if you can afford it.
Could I take it on account?
On account of what?
On account of me having no money. I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
There was no way I could carry a fishbowl. If I wanted it, the goldfish was going to need... It was an empty vacuum flask, used to insulate drinks so they stayed hot or cold. That didn't work. The puppet show hadn't started yet. Set up on the sea... Moored up on the docks, for all I could guess, the ferryman wouldn't have liked me snooping around inside the boat. Hello, my name's Murphy McCallan.
Hello, chum. Looking to hire a ferry?
Maybe?
Then come set sail with Crab Macready, when a ferry's really what you needy.
Crab's breath hit my face like a custard pie, a cloud of air reeking of cigarettes and stale beer.
Look, here's a promotional flag, so you can keep me in mind.
I'll treasure it.
Now, I can take you anywhere on the coast. Where are you looking to head to? Do you have a partner or an illicit liaison in mind? I do a very romantic sunset cruise.
Is this your ferry? It looks like it's held together with spit and glue.
That's right, but rest assured, my spit is remarkably viscous. You find yourself aboard the Creaky Crab 2. I am her captain, Crab Macready. I get most of my business ferrying over to the mainland when the tide's covered up the causeway.
Are you a member of the Captain's Club?
Oh, they banned me, those pompous buffoons. That Felix is full of himself.
What happened?
There used to be a club parrot called Squawkin' Hawkins, until he was taken away. Bird-napped, I'd say. See, I'm a big bird lover. They're very intelligent creatures, and I used to try to teach him poetry. Well, Felix Greer wasn't having none of that. I think he was getting jealous that the bird had more brains than him. He kicked me out. Well, I got a little upset, like anybody would. Words were exchanged, loudly, and he told me I wasn't welcome back. The cheek of it. Kicking me out when I'm a hard-working captain. That landlubber would get seasick using a washcloth.
Why do you like birds so much?
They're the sailors of the sky, even the ones that can't fly. You tell me, have you ever looked an emu in the eye and not felt a sense of kinship? Seen that look that says he wants to explore beyond the horizon?
I've never imagined an emu thinking anything different to that.
I love anything with a beak, except platypuses. Don't get me started on them. Now, I take it upon myself to look after the feathered friends on this island. Squawkin' Hawkins now lives on a perch on my balcony. I have a name for every seagull that flies over Dead Nettle. And I look after Doris.
Doris?
Doris the chicken, over at Baxter's Mill.
What happened to the Creaky Crab 1?
That's it over there, with its bow peeking out of the water. I was out in the bay last Mardi Gras and looked down into the inky depths. Honest to God, I saw a mermaid staring back at me. I rushed back into Dead Nettle with such fervour I forgot to slow the engine once we reached the docks.
Was it really a mermaid you saw?
Nah, turned out I'd forgot to take my wig off from the costume contest that night, and I'd just seen my own reflection.
I'd like to hire your ferry.
Sure. Give me a map of where you want to go and I'll see if I can get you there. I'm the best ferryman this side of the Gulf. From Baton Rouge to the Bermuda Rectangle. I'm your man.
I thought it was called the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, sure it is now. Ever since one of its sides mysteriously disappeared.
I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
It was the cotton flag that Crab, the ferryman, had given me, embroidered with his company logo. What do you think of this magazine?
You call that a magazine? Fool, I'm a big lover of pottery, you see.
Oh, look who's returned.
Good evening, Felix.
Remind me, did you say your name was Captain Knot?
My pseudonym, that's right, for marketing purposes.
Because I've been doing some research in the club archives, and it seems as though we already had a Captain Knot as a member about 10 years ago.
That would be my father, Captain Knot Sr. I'll pass on a hello next time I see him.
42 years as a captain, sailed each of the 7 seas.
That's the one. More at home on the waves.
It says in the records that he's deceased.
Might be harder than expected to pass on that hello, actually.
Drowned, apparently.
A mighty struggle.
While taking a bath.
Mainly a struggle with the plug, really.
Look, I'm on to you, Sonny. When Mr. Perkins gets back tomorrow, we'll be having an investigation. Captain Knot, or not a captain.
And until then?
Enjoy the club. These are complimentary matchbooks for members only.
I am a member.
Oh, yes. How silly of me to forget. There's a limit of considering your membership is going to be extremely short.
Hello again,
Hello again.
How's the club tonight?
Buzzing.
That lively, huh?
No, I mean I just had to remove a wasp nest from the gentleman's lavatory.
Is the elevator still not fixed?
It hasn't been fixed for the last 7 months. I doubt it will miraculously start working for you tonight.
How did it break anyway?
The city council rented out the whole club one day for a meeting to discuss a new town seal. Some sort of insignia representing Dead Nettle's history and culture. Unfortunately, the mayor misunderstood the brief and showed up with a seal of the aquatic type. 2 fins, whiskers, a little tricorn hat, and the moniker Captain Snoops. Took the entire council to wrestle him back into the elevator and get him down to the docks. And it overloaded the motor. And do you know what the real cherry on top was? He got the animal wrong. Captain Snoops was a sea lion, not a seal.
What's the difference?
An I, an O, and an N.
Crab McCready told me you kicked him out of the club for teaching a parrot poetry?
Yes, that's quite correct.
That doesn't seem very fair.
You didn't hear the poetry. If I may regale you, there was a young man from Bombay. Took the slow boat to China one day. He was pinned to the tiller by a frisky gorilla, and China's a bloody long way.
I see.
Apologies if we're in disagreement about whether that sort of material is appropriate for the Captain's Club.
Nope. Can't argue with that. Very fair conclusion. I best be casting off.
Farewell, Captain.
Avast, mateys! Shiver me timbers! 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance, me hearties. Yo-ho!
What on earth are you talking about?
I think your lighthouse might have lured in a loon.
I thought you were captains. Isn't this how captains talk?
Not outside of Treasure Island, Novel. You expect us to carry parrots on our shoulders, too?
I tried that once in my life, and all I got was excrement down the back of my blazer.
Oh, right. While I was trapped on Devil's Rock, a map of the world wasn't going to be much use to me. Good evening.
It's about time you got here. I've been waiting for you.
You have?
Darn right. Give me another sarsaparilla and be quick about it.
No, I'm not a waiter.
You're a captain? They keep getting younger and younger. Do they give you a free pair of floaties with your license nowadays?
Are you a captain?
I was, a long time ago. Captain Cuthbert Moot's the name. Now I'm the island's lighthouse keeper.
How come you're not captaining anymore?
I had a bit of a bump with a lighthouse.
If only lighthouses had some way of warning you they were there. The lighthouse keeper's nostrils huffed like a bull about to charge at a matador.
After I crashed the ship, I lost my job with the Belmore Trading Company. What's more, I was taken off the Belmore wedding guest list. I've spent one disappointment after another ever since. I used to be a king of the waves. Now I'm a bigger wreck than my ship.
How did you not see the lighthouse?
I was busy at the time. What are you, the captaincy board?
But you managed to keep your captain's license?
In a manner of speaking, the captaincy board has a sense of irony. After I crashed into the lighthouse, they made me take the job of lighthouse keeper to maintain my credentials.
Then shouldn't you be at the fort if you're the lighthouse keeper?
Oh, it's a dreary place, and there's a damn fleabag cat there that won't leave me alone. Anyway, it's a clear night. If the fog comes in, I'll switch the light on. Otherwise, I'm staying right here.
What's wrong with the cat?
Blacktail? You see these scratch marks on my nose? The damn thing jumps for my head every time the badge on my hat catches the light.
You worked for the Belmore Trading Company?
Once upon a time, I was the captain of the SS Mysterium, flagship of the Belmore Trading Company fleet. I've captained more ocean voyages than you've taken baths. I might look like I should be hawking fish sticks at a market stall, but back then, I was at the top of my game, enjoying the finer things in life. Caviar in the finest restaurants, champagne at the finest resorts, dressing in the finest tuxedos. Oh, one little bump through my whole career down the plug hole.
I take it the Captain's Club doesn't compare.
It did once upon a time. This place used to be a model of a club. Now the only thing it'd be modeling would be a cardigan and a girdle.
So you weren't invited to the Belmore wedding?
No, I was snubbed. Years of captaining their flagship, and then I get forgotten like a dirty sock. I tried to convince Mrs. Craddock to add me to the list, but she's got a heart colder than a penguin's behind.
I was invited to the Belmore wedding.
What? You never told me that.
You never asked. Yeah, not a direct invitation from the Belmores, but I was invited as a +1.
Who invited you?
A little lady named Tallulah LaRue.
Why didn't you go?
Because she scared the hell out of me.
Isn't it lucky that you didn't go to the Belmore wedding?
Lucky? How by Neptune's beard could you call that lucky?
Because the whole wedding disappeared. Their lives were stolen from them, their souls trapped in a tormented house for eternity. If you'd have been there, you'd have disappeared too.
Oh, it just would have been nice to feel included, that's all.
Is there a way into the fort?
Not without the key, and I'm the one in charge of that. Do you know the reason for the big walls, the sturdy gates, the barrels of gunpowder, and the big boomy cannons? To keep people out!
Can you turn on the lighthouse beacon?
I don't know if you know how lighthouses work, but they only need to be lit up when visibility is low. As far as I can tell, it's a clear night, so until I see fog pouring through that window, I'm not doing a thing.
I better be off.
So long.
Looking for the land beyond the rainbow, just like a child at play. Your poor little heart must be brave.
That trophy belongs to the club champion. And as I'm club champion, I'm telling you, hands off.
Wake up, little girl. You're just dreaming.
Good evening. My name's Murphy McCallan.
Good evening, Captain McCallan. Captain Gifford Pemberley at your service. That's right, I expect you've heard of me. Master of the Mississippi, tamer of the Tennessee, cuddler of the Colorado. Care to hit the table with me?
I'll join you in a game. What are we playing?
Billiards.
Should I set her up?
It is set up. This isn't American billiards, boy. We're playing English billiards. A fine game which requires only 3 balls. A white for me, a yellow for you, and a red we share.
I haven't heard of English billiards before.
I learned it when I toured the gambling halls of London back in 1922. It's a game with far more depth and skill than pool or snooker. Points are awarded not just for potting, but by the flair with which strikes are accomplished. More points can be earned with a fanciful shot than by a simple pocketing.
So I'm not trying to get the balls in the little holes?
Look, I think we might be a bit out of your depth with this. Why don't we keep it simple? The winner is the one who can bounce the red ball off the cushions the most times.
I can do that.
Then let's play. I'm afraid it'll have to be with dry cues. For some reason, the billiard chalk's gone missing.
I wonder how that happened.
Sevens! Something to be proud of. Threes. Too bad, Captain McCallan. It seems my standing as champion of the Captain's Club continues.
The billiard table was already occupied. The room was dominated by a large wooden I needed Empty of flowers, I could see that the window box was securely attached to the club's masonry. That wasn't going to work. I didn't need to blow on that. That wasn't going to work. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that...
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? I didn't think I'd be seeing you again, Mac. I thought you'd be swimming back to the mainland. Or, well, swimming with the fishes. How's the auditing going?
Well, I quit my job.
You quit? I thought that was the whole reason you were here in the first place.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Why you doing this, Mac? Don't you have a family you need to get back to? Away from the ghost stories?
I don't have any family. I never have. I was found.
Found?
As a baby, I was left on the doorstep of an orphanage with just a blanket and a piece of paper with my name on it. Growing up, I always felt alone, like I was missing someone who loved me. The last orphanage I was in was above a bookstore called Eerie Echoes, and I used to pick up the dime novels that got thrown out at the end of each month. My favorites were always the scary ones.
Why did you like the scary stories so much?
I felt like if I could read the scariest story I could find, it would make my life at the time seem a little less scary by comparison.
That's heartbreaking, Mac.
But that's why I'm still here. I always wanted to be in one of those stories, and now I am. I don't have much of a past, but this is a chance to make myself a future.
Well, I hope you find what you're searching for. But don't say I didn't warn you.
I think I might know what happened at Belmore Manor on the night of the disappearance.
I've told you, Mac. I don't want to hear no more about it.
But I think I know who the Phantom is.
Murphy, don't even say the name. I've seen that aberration once, and that was enough. I saw those faces laughing at me every night for months. I won't go through that again.
Ned's fear was real. I can only imagine what 3 decades of those faces would do to a person. Do you remember the Belmore Trading Company ever unloading a coffin at these docks?
You know, now that you mention it, that does ring a bell. Yeah, back when I first started out, the Belmore's flagship, the SS Mysterium, came back into port a few days late, and Mr. Rackham rustled up a bunch of us roustabouts to help unload it, way earlier than we usually be out. Yeah, I remember that morning. It's almost as much as the bonus pay we got for the early hours.
Did you find out what was in it?
I don't think we paid it much mind. It was rare, but people did die at sea back in those days. Although saying that, they'd usually be buried at sea too. I don't remember any fanfare about it, but it must have been someone important in there.
Or something. Still fishing?
You won't believe this, Mac. Squibb's record was ruled invalid. He was overheard down at Spinelli's bar boasting about how he put ball bearings inside the Pencosa to make it heavier. Can you believe the nerve of some people?
The despicable things they'll do.
It means I'm right behind you, buddy. Just one lucky catch, and I'll be bumping you down to second place.
Is that a grill you've got there, Ned?
14 hours out here would give anyone an appetite. I'm not giving up just yet, but it'll be supper time soon. You're welcome to join me.
Do you miss working on the docks?
I wouldn't give up fishing for it, but I have good memories of those times. Good, honest teamwork. Working outdoors, singing shanties, and swapping stories. Though to be honest, some of the tales they tell may have been a little exaggerated.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
What a piece of junk! So much as a nudge and the whole thing locks up. Work, damn you!
That almost hit me.
Almost isn't good enough. A few inches over and we could have had a lovely headline about a gory workplace accident. Hands off, McAllen. This is delicate business.
The printing press was missing a spring. Attacking the bolts with pliers wasn't going to help that. There was no way. Besides,
Are you serious? I'm the only one allowed behind the desk, McAllen.
sorry. I decided to... I had more important things. In days gone by, invaders might have exploded gunpowder barrels to get through the fortress's thick and imposing walls. In days gone... Lighting up gunpowder I was carrying in my vest would have resulted in Murphy piece. That didn't work. Nope. I didn't need to set fire to that. I didn't need... Each of the electric cables in the room emanated from a metal panel. That didn't work. That wasn't going... I needed... Nope. I couldn't... Walking back into the ballroom, the throng of wedding guests had dispersed to their guest rooms, replaced by chairs and tables. Preparations for the wedding were gathering speed like a boulder rolling down a mountainside, and I felt like I was smack in the middle of its path. Good evening, Mrs. Craddock.
Chairs at the far end, table... Oh, it's...
Where have all...
To their room. Here I am, tidying up after the waltz.
How long...
Just a few hours. Oh, good gracious, a few hours. I'm sorry, but I can't...
You see...
Correct. And with all due respect, and I'm...
You need to...
I don't think people... My doctor told me I need to rethink my diet, by which I mean a glass and a half of wine with each meal, and polishing off the bottle before bed. A la France.
Where's the wedding cake gone?
I had to hide it.
Hide it? Why?
Somebody had already helped themselves to a slice of cake. And I bet I know exactly who it was, Mr. McAllen.
Oh, really?
That horrible pock boy. The knave with his hand on the tarts. Perhaps the Queen of Hearts had good reason for her framework of justice.
I heard you didn't send a wedding invitation to Captain Moot.
Well, of course he didn't receive an invitation. He was dismissed from his employment weeks before the wedding for crashing the flagship of the Belmore fleet.
He's very upset about it. Don't years of service outweigh one accident?
Accident? I suppose you never learned exactly why he crashed the ship, did you?
Actually, no, I didn't.
We discovered that Captain Moot used to invite ladies up to the bridge after hours. Dozens of ladies over the years. He'd take them on moonlit cruises around the island and, goodness gracious me, paint them with no clothes on. Draped over the ship's wheel, stretched out in the rigging, dangling from the anchor. Apparently, he must have gotten a bit too carried away with his brushstrokes on the final painting, because he didn't see the rocks the ship crashed into.
Ah, that would certainly be distracting.
Indeed.
I'll leave you to get on.
How thankful.
Is this your necklace?
Me wear something I am not.
It was a handmade necklace of a wooden compass broken in two. The chalkboard was blank. I couldn't do that. Good evening, Father.
Hello.
Are you prepared?
In every way, we still haven't.
Shouldn't you?
The Lord give it. Furthermore, I have no idea what I would there.
We three kings of Jackson Square, selling stockings a nickel a pair.
Oh, how drastic, no elastic, not very safe to wear. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I best be heading off.
May God be with you.
Leave it there, boy.
Good evening, Colonel.
What? Not until next Thursday.
That wasn't going to work. Nope. This must have been a skeleton, clothed in wedding attire. This must have... It was a handmade necklace of a... That wasn't going... I didn't want to... That didn't work. I didn't need... I could... I didn't need to search. Now wasn't the time. As I descended back into the cellar, the lack of mechanical noise quickly revealed that I took one of the fireworks, the logo on the... I'd known a boy in elementary school. The instructions on the fireworks said that it needed to be placed into a launching tube. That wasn't going to work. I couldn't... was a small porcelain teacup. I considered looking through the boxes, but doubted my immediate situation needed a set of matching crockery or monogrammed dish towels. I had already taken... I considered looking... There was nothing large that... Nope. I needed to think of something else. I didn't have anything to... Do you mind if I borrow...
Oh, go right ahead. I already dug up the... It's funny. Even when things are dead, just look at us go...
I had nothing else to... Nope. That wasn't going to work. That didn't work. That didn't. I didn't have... I couldn't see anything I could do with the staff. It was an ornately crafted metal
Welcome back.
I've brought you the tea leaves.
Wonderful. That will work to contact Yardley. Be quiet now, Murphy. I need to concentrate. Yardley Belmore, heed our plea. Where was your life stolen from thee? I sense a crypt, deep below the ground, where Yardley, unknown to him, has been drugged. Among alcoves of the dead, Yardley is still alive as brick by brick. He is being entombed within the crypt. The drug may wear off, but he has no means of escape. Trapped! Look at the painting! Yardley's body is still bricked up inside that crypt. The Sanctuary Crypt. You must find a way inside. There is a tunnel, once used for safety, but now used for salvation. Something in Yardley's bedroom will help you.
I have some more questions.
Ask a...
Are you the one?
I've heard that the Belmore brothers approached me to... The brothers did everything they could to understand it. A never-ending investigation, to my deep regret. I was with no way to destroy it. The only option was...
In the vault beneath...
That's right. Deep below the house, within a labyrinth...
The last time I messed around with this kind of thing, I ended up releasing an evil spirit.
Yes. I sensed what happened with Dr. Moray. I'm afraid that man was lured in by theatrics and promises of power he never actually held.
It looked like he had powers to me.
Rackham's spirit had been reaching out for someone he could dupe, but Rackham was always the puppeteer. Moray had no powers whatsoever, except for those manifested by Rackham.
Does Rackham have powers of his own?
I'm afraid he does, Murphy. Although I discovered that I like to think of myself as knowledgeable about magic, but even I'm not sure what twisted power. He seems to have power over visions and nightmares.
Is it voodoo?
No.
But the summoning spell that I cast, that seems...
The manuscript you carry in your pocket is far old. It is a real spell. The icons of voodoo that adorn it are merely a I suspect Rackham has a knowledge of magic.
So it's a forgery?
More something in...
Why couldn't he get Dr. Moray to cast a summoning spell?
A wise question. Magic doesn't work equally for everyone. Each spell depends on the person who casts it. Some spells work only for someone whose heart believes. Others work only for the person who rightfully owns the talisman. Some spells, no matter how much is invested in them, simply don't work at all. Moray was the bait, but Rackham needed someone more attuned to actually complete the spell.
I traded Dr. Moray for the Grigri that enabled the summoning spell.
No, Murphy. Moray may have been the broker, but you cast your trade into his spirit pool. You traded Rackham for the Grigri, the same Grigri that unleashed that terrible spell on Abigail.
Tell me again.
Yardley's body. You must find something.
I should get...
May fate...
The globe looked more Looking through the telescope, all I could see was I soon realized. The face reminded me of a from the neck up, from the neck. It The drain pipe had twisted, and Abigail's ghost was once again back in her bedroom, now fully consumed by the wicked spell Rackham had trapped her in. The minutes left before he married her were falling away like dominoes. I didn't need to. It was going to be. It was more valuable. I couldn't. The contrast between. If only she knew what was. Playing the phone. The trunk was empty. Gazing into the portrait's eyes sent a It was a large trunk. The chest contained only a myriad of... I had more urgent things. It was a book on magic tricks, open to a double-page spread. It was a wall-mounted mirror surrounded with bulbs, like one you'd find. 2 tanks stood beside the It was a machine hooked up to tanks with... Looking good, Murphy. I opened the tap, nozzles hissed, a cloud of cold mist billowed out, and from the machine came a smattering of dry ice. The machine looked ready to operate. I couldn't pick up the dry... I collected the dry ice in the flask. That would keep it from melting, at least for the time being. I needed to think of something else. The machine looked ready to operate. All it needed was a blast from the tanks. The machine looked... That wasn't going to work. It was a vacuum flask filled with dry ice. The flask was keeping the ice solid for the time being. I didn't need to blow on that. The flask was already filled with ice. I couldn't... I had more... The dry ice clattered into the metal window box. I thought it best to leave the dry ice. I filled the bottle. The dry ice had already melted away. The dry... I poured the contents of the bottle onto the dry ice, and Good evening, Captain.
If you...
Look, there's...
I can't...
Maybe if you just... He looked at me like I'd serve... You're not getting it.
Nope.
I found you were caught painting naked ladies. That's why you
Maybe that's true, but you'd think she'd have been more...
Why's that?
She was the naked lady I was painting when we crashed.
I better be...
So long.
I flicked the switch, turning off the ceiling fans, and watched as the mist outside stopped.
Waiter!
I told you, I don't work here.
Do you know how to work a lock at least?
Sure I do.
Right. Well, the fog's coming in, and someone needs to switch on the lighthouse light. I would do it myself, but that fort's danker than the inside of a sailor's trousers. Use this key to unlock the gate, then turn on the light with the switch on the ramparts. Think you can handle that?
I'm on it. From the fort ramparts, I had an unobstructed view across the entire southeastern coast of the island. Cliffs and crags, waves and water, and an endless horizon. I needed to load some gunpowder into the cannon first. I poured the gunpowder. The cannon was too big to work as a... I needed to load the cannon first. The ragged coast of Devil... I turned the wheel, but nothing happened. I needed to Nope. An old cannon still... The cannon looked like it might still work. If it did, I knew from that evening's previous experience with firearms that... I filled the bottle.
I'm getting the shivers, boss. It feels like I got a brain freeze, and I ain't even slammed down a snow cone.
You don't got a brain to get froze. It is feeling chilly, though, ain't it?
That's the first sign of ghosts, boss.
Don't be a crybaby. But, just for safety, what's the second sign of ghosts?
The ghost's presence begins to interfere with the electric fields, most commonly seen manifesting as flickering lights.
It was the dial you... It was the dial... The stitching was too tight to undo with my hand. Deciding the jalopy was so beat up, I pulled the spring. I tried to turn the bolt with my... It was the jalopy. I didn't need...
Just print already!
Maybe this will help?
What do you think you're doing?
I fixed it for you.
I'm going to need to recalibrate the whole thing now.
No need to say thank you.
You're lucky. There's something fishy about you, Murphy McCallan. I can smell a story on a person like rotten eggs in an egg salad. And currently it's the 4th of July summer picnic and someone forgot to put the bowl in the refrigerator last night.
I picked up the freshly printed sheet of paper.
Yes?
Hi! What are you working on?
A clarification. A local dancer is moving off the island and looking to get... But my piece asking if there was any interest in Hoochie Coochie dancer Lulu Leroy's huge chest got a much bigger response than we expected. And not for the right reasons.
Am I right in
Good call, McCallan. Santa Monica, California. Born and bred. Hadn't even been to Devil's... The divine irony is that I got this job due to a seeking newspaper editor for dynamic community. Exciting stories. Amazing opportunity. What nonsense. But now I'm here.
Why did you stay?
I came down with a horrible...
Health issues?
No. I started dating a notary named Jonathan. Right after I'd taken out a mortgage, I stumbled across his dalliances with the fishmonger's wife, the ironmonger's wife, and the cheesemonger's wife. Knowing his type,
I decided I'd become a warmonger, and I set fire. I last saw him picking through his charred underpants. Now he's off in Rancho Cucamonga with some flapper named Anastasia, and I'm still fine.
I'm trying to track
a serial killer. This could. When did this happen?
No.
33 years? That's not journal.
I think
my doors. I broke the hinge earlier.
that wasn't going to work. I couldn't break my way through the door. It was... I tried the door. It was a car horn from the rump. It was the cotton flag that Crab, the ferryman. That wasn't going... Each of the electric cables in the room emanated from a metal panel. That wasn't going to... Nope. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storage. The hatches were locked. I needed... In the middle of the room was a large sawmill. It was strange to think that I'd been supernaturally trapped within the house, and that despite that,
Welcome back.
I found something that could be used as a spirit board.
Yes, that will work, even if it will take a lot of concentration on my part. Cecil Belmore, we now implore, where do you rest forevermore? I sense a hidden place, a laboratory known only to Cecil, a secret refuge for study and invention, and desperate attempts to reconcile science and the supernatural. He has been followed. Unknown to Cecil, someone lies in wait in the darkness and is about to look at the painting. Cecil's body lies in a hidden laboratory, and you must find it. Cecil never told anyone where he conducted his work, but in happier times he created a treasure hunt for his brothers, were they ever to seek him out. That is your lifeline, Murphy. Follow the trail of clues to reach that laboratory. I sense the first clue lies in Cecil's bedroom.
The bag was empty of everything, but a bag lay... The bag was... It was a bell jar containing a homunculus, a miniature... I'd already carried a shrunken head around earlier that, and I especially... I searched through the pockets of the lab. To my surprise, I found something. A small... There was nothing else in the pockets of the lab coat. There was nothing else. The books covered all manner of scientific subjects. A stack of... Along one wall of the bedroom was a makeshift laboratory complete. The apparatus looked like the handiwork of a mad... The apparatus looked like the... It was an old silver coin. At its center were 2 lines of...
Welcome back!
Could I use your microscope?
Oh!
Yeah. With the microscope calibrated, the coin's writing came into focus. It read, "Into the palm of a prince." The inscription must have been a clue in Cecil's treasure hunt. I just had to find the prince's palm he was referring to. Following the inscription on the coin and realizing that the metallic statue depicted an Indian prince, I took a close look at the statue's palm. For the first time, I noticed a slight circular indentation, about the size of a coin. I placed the coin into the statue's hand. It fit the indentation exactly, into the palm of a prince. No sooner had I done it than I heard sparks and hums coming from inside the statue. That's when I realized it wasn't a statue at all. It was an automaton. A robotic figure made to move with cogs, wires, and electrical pulses. It seemed to be fighting to move, but then, nothing.
Well, blow me over with a dandelion. I didn't expect anyone to get that working again.
It's not doing much.
Joints will be frozen, I should think. No wonder after all these years. Another job for me to do, and a dangerous one at that. Who knows how many volts Master Cecil ran through that thing to get it moving.
What I once thought was a statue was now... The automaton seemed unable to... If I touch the grease... Using the cotton flag, using the flag soaked in grease, I began to oil the automaton's joints. I placed the coin back in the automaton's hand and watched. The cap of the scroll case opened and revealed something inside.
Well, there's life in the old thing yet. Gives us all hope, doesn't it?
I picked up the piece of... Unrolling it, I discovered it was a death certificate, all filled in except for one key piece of information. The name was missing. It was certainly a clue, but who did it belong to? It was a death certificate. It was a death certificate. Does this death certificate mean anything to you? The name hasn't been filled in, but it says you were the Undertaker.
Of course I was. Nobody else on the island would do it, now would they?
I was wondering if you remembered who it was you buried.
That was over 30 years ago. Do you know how many bodies I've buried in my career? I couldn't tell one corpse from the other. This may surprise you, but I don't get that attached to...
Is there any way I could find...
Well, you've got the...
Thank you. As I returned to the docks, I realized that Dead Nettle's usual smell of sea breeze and rotting fish had been replaced by something far more pleasant. The smoky scent of a fish I thought I recognized.
Hello again, Mac. I hope you don't mind, but you left your fish hanging there. No sense in letting the fish that size go to waste. I've started cooking it up. It'll be the tastiest fish this side of the Mississippi. We can tuck in as soon as it's cooked.
I tried to hide the realization growing on my face. A mouthful of taxidermy stuffing and chipped teeth from the iron horseshoe hidden inside wouldn't be the culinary sensation Ned was after. Sounds great, Ned. The fish was far too hot to pick up, and I was sure Ned wouldn't have wanted me to extinguish his grill. The fish I'd supposed... Good evening, Ned.
Hello again.
Ned,
Nah, Mac.
No, really, I think there's... Ned was a nice guy. How's the...
Sizzling? I have to keep checking it every few minutes. Make sure the fire isn't too... But don't worry, I'll let you know.
Catch you later.
See you around.
If Ned wanted to wait until the fish was cooked to tuck in, it was time to turn up the heat.
Whoa! We don't want you overdone, little fishy. Time to cut you open. Ready for a taste sensation, Mac?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Hand me back that knife, would you? That's strange. There's something in here. A horseshoe.
Now, how did that get in there?
Mac, I think your fish is stuffed.
Well, knock me over with a herring. I'm shocked. Does this mean my record doesn't count?
I hate to break it to you.
Did I hear what I think I heard? Out of the way, Buster.
Evelyn, what took you so long?
The record-breaking Pancozo was stuffed. The new record was a sham. Murphy, what have you got to say for yourself?
You've caught me red-handed. Well, I don't mean to be coy with you, but this cuts me to the soul. I only entered for the halibut. I can't believe I'm herring this right. I'm cracking up. I'm floundering. I'm carping on and on. I need to clear my head, but let me know if you need anything else from me.
I think you've got more of a future in the funny pages than serious journalism, Murphy. Kipps, have you got time for an interview with the Juniper Parish Gazette?
Evelyn homed in on Ned like a dog with a bone and no sense of personal boundaries.
What would you say to others in your situation?
Voodoo botanist Jim Hughes claims to have accidentally turned closest friend into tree. The newspapers in the cabinet dated if I was going to find something specific. Using the date from the death certificate, I began to search through the newspaper's archives. And then I found it. In the bottom corner of the newspaper was a small announcement showing that the person buried on that date was named Eleanor Hines. I ripped out the announcement and replaced the newspaper. It was the obituary I'd ripped.
McCallan, I told you can't go back there.
Whoops, look at the time. I've really got to be going. I had a name to go along with the death certificate. Now it was time to... I scanned the headstone. I began searching the graves for the... Aha! I discovered a small headstone at the center of this, so this was where... Except, now that I was looking at it, the name was an anagram. Here lies, and if a person wasn't buried... To say digging up a grave felt eerie would be an understatement. But if something was down there, I needed to find out what it was. I took out the shovel and began to dig. Eventually, I found something. Not a coffin, but instead, a battered old chest. I opened the chest I dug up from the grave. I picked up the glass lens. The engraving read, it was an engraving. There was no... That didn't work. The small lens fit perfectly on the end of the telescope. I immediately looked through it to see what it would reveal. I spy with my little eye the next clue. The creek meandered all across the peninsula. Surely that was too much to search. The creek I'd already walked that road numerous times. The bayou would have been an easy place. It was a small creek. It was the road. The creek meandered. It was a small. I'd already walked. The Tale of the Mermaid. This must have been the location described in the chest's inscription, but looking through the gap in the weather vane, all I could see was darkness. With no easy path to it, I couldn't justify risking my life trekking through overgrown wilderness and the alligator-infested bayou unless I was sure something was there. I needed some way to light up the bayou. It was a rocky out. Thought back to the mysterious darkness within the mermaid's. It was far too far away to light up that part of the island, blocked by the rocky cliffs. If I was going to illuminate the bayou, I needed a way of doing it that was much closer. Nope. I didn't. It was the gunpowder barrel the cat had knocked over. Now the teapot? I wasn't going. I didn't. I didn't. I considered climbing the water tower, but I couldn't imagine what I'd find at the top other than stagnant, moldy water. And there was plenty of that in the bayou already. The sign read dock. I jiggled. The riverboat looked like it might collapse. I may have been new to the bayou, but even I... That wasn't going... The instructions on the fireworks said that it needed to be placed into a launching tube before igniting it. That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going... Nope. I couldn't. It was a car horn from the... I needed to think of something else. To sea day. With no easy path to it, I couldn't justify risking my life trekking through overgrown. I needed some way to light up the bayou. The firework drops. If it needed a launch tube to fire, I took a match out of the match. Illuminated by the glow of the fireworks, I could see something through the mermaid weather vane. It looked like a wishing well. My route to the well had me clambering over fallen tupelo trees and trudging through knee-deep water, lit only by moonlight and accompanied only by the overly curious critters at the bayou. But eventually, I found it. The swamp water was murky and dark. I wasn't going to find it. The well was built on the center of a small island, carved into the stone. I looked down the well. Perhaps the darkness concealed the next step of my treasure hunt. The rope looked like it could bear my weight. If only I wanted to turn the pulley, but without a handle, That wasn't going. I didn't. I didn't need. I didn't. I didn't have to. I need. That didn't. The rope looked like. I couldn't see any way to open whoever sealed this. The tin was... Set up on the seafront was an elaborate carved wood puppet theater with Pulcinella painted across the... The room was dominated by the billiard table. Hello again,
Welcome back.
That's a very...
Well, we needed something spherical, so we just gilded a cannonball, polished up like a trombone. A lot of elbow grease went into that shine, and currently...
Are you saying that's...
That's right, boy. Champion keeps the other cat, or peg leg, in the cage.
Surely he can't...
Too true.
Are you a fake...
You...
I'm sorry, I don't...
Don't tell me you're one of those...
Jelly-legged? At least we see you, river, upriver.
Don't listen to him. He doesn't understand. I got my start in Baton Rouge. If it wasn't going to do...
Have you been a...
I'd say so. When my uncle Augustus passed away, I ran pleasure...
Are you still a captain?
Technically, but it's hard to...
What happened?
I got a little overconfident drinking. My wife left me because she said I had... But I still think I can win her back.
Were you the
That's the one.
So you must...
I beg your pardon.
Having named your riverboat the Spirit?
It's not named after ghosts, boy. It's named after bourbon, gin, tequila, whiskey. Those are the spirits that...
I'm sorry to tell you this.
Oh, what a sad day. It was that damn fool. He never loved her the way I did. A personality as fierce, a sway when she moved that could... And cut.
Are we still Are you going to patch things up with Mrs. Pemberley?
Oh, I'm trying. I had a bouquet of flowers.
Is there a florist in...
No, I just took them out of that window. Don't tell Felix, or they'll end up on my tab.
I'd like a...
Thinking you can beat what I... Threes. Too bad, Captain McCallum. It seems my stat...
I wondered if greasing the table would have let the balls move faster, but the green baize would have just soaked it up and made a mess. I thought I'd keep... That did... I didn't need... The billiard table was... Hello again, Cap.
Welcome back.
I'd like a...
Thinking you can... Threes, two...
I needed to think of something else. I couldn't do that. I thought I'd... Jacking up the corner of the table would have potted the ball quickly, but it wouldn't have made the... I didn't have... I didn't...
You built a dollhouse in dreamland, filled it with sunshine and sun.
I couldn't...
Now you are sad, dear, and grieving just because things have gone wrong. Wake up, little girl.
I could... I need... I needed to think of something else. I didn't...
And my heart is aching too. Wake up, little girl, you're just dreaming pretty dreams.
While I was trapped on Devil... That wasn't going to work. I didn't... I couldn't do that.
You'll find a brighter tomorrow after the clouds of today.
I didn't need to blow on that. I didn't have time. I wondered if greasing the table would have let the balls...
Looking for the land beyond the rainbow, just like a child at play. Your poor little heart must be breaking, and my heart is aching too. Wake up, little girl, you're just dreaming pretty.
The billiard table was already occupied. The room was dominated by a large wooden billiard table. I didn't need to set fire to that. I did... Good evening, Captain Moot.
If you say so.
I switched on the lighthouse light.
Do you want a medal?
I better be...
So long.
Hello, Hello again, Felix.
Hello again.
Do you have any...
Is that what Pemberley's calling it? There is...
Oh, really?
Use the pointy thing to...
I best be...
Farewell!
I glanced. It was mostly empty. I couldn't... I didn't need to make that... The bottle I was carrying, I didn't need to keep... The bottle was... Nope.
I keep trying, always trying to stay away. It can be done. One single day. I keep saying, always saying, goodbye, I'm through.
If I needed more help from... If I needed more help from Crab...
Welcome back!
There was no... If I wanted it, the neck of the bottle was... It was an ornate... Robbing a jewelry... I inspected the carving, its woodworm-dotted surface and water-stained edges. I couldn't do that. Nope. I needed... That didn't... I had nothing else to... I glanced at the book's cover. I peered into the tide pool. Nope. I didn't need to... I didn't need... I did... It was a handmade necklace of a... I didn't need to. I didn't. On the center of a carved into the stone. I looked down the well. Perhaps the darkness can. I didn't need to make that greasy. I didn't need. I didn't. That wasn't. The wheel was too. An old carriage wheel. Nope. It was Tallulah LaRue. No. That wasn't going to work. The stark trunk of the tree didn't offer any possibility of climbing it. That wasn't going to work. I did. Nope. Nope. I didn't. I had nothing else. The table was too long. A grand table. Nope. I had nothing. After my escapades with the... Good evening, Father.
Hello.
Do you know what?
Oh, I cert. When Devil's Rock was, the monks provided luxuries like wool.
By pirate?
Yes, but also, according to legend, the fort had a beacon. If it was lit, the light would shine through the church's rose window, and the monks could open a secret passage and...
How did they open the secret passage?
Now, there's a mystery. Of course, the beacon was never lit while I...
But the secret passage still...
I can't say I know. It's an electric light now, of course, but I haven't the...
Who installed the electric...
That was Cecil Belmore. I was told the lighthouse needed to be upgraded to handle the ship traffic coming into Deadnet.
I bet...
May God...
Good evening.
What?
I didn't need to search. That wasn't... Looking at the fuse box, I remembered a container with questionable regard for my own. If flickering lights were... I turned the dial...
Boss! Boss! The lights are flickering!
That's gotta be a coincidence.
Or a sign of ghosts!
What did you say the third sign of paranormal activity was, Morris?
The tolling of a bell!
If the tolling of a bell was the third sign of ghostly activity, it was time to ring in the witching hour.
The bell!
A chill in the air. Flickering lights. The tolling of the bell.
Do you think it's...
Ghost! Run for your life! Start, you blasted car!
Why are we not moving, Musket?
Because out of that long line of automobiles on Delancey Street, you decided to steal something less reliable than a politician's promise! Start, you rust bucket!
It started, Musket!
There we go! And now, we floor it!
We crashed, Musket!
I can see that we crashed, Morris. Well, there's only one thing we can do.
What's that, boss?
Run for our lives!
I decided to leave. Walking into the church, I couldn't see. I didn't need any. Scattered throughout the... I didn't need any more. Now wasn't the time for... The window is even more beautiful in person, adorning the altar below it like a crown. And that's when I noticed something. Below the window was a cross-shaped indentation in the wood that made me think something was missing. Taking the book, I realized it was an old Bible. Is this the Bible you've been looking for?
My word! That it is, my boy! Oh, where did you find it?
Fallen down the side of a cabinet back in St. Juniper's Church.
People do say they find faith in the most unexpected places, but down the side of furniture is certainly one of the most common. I'm most indebted to you. Is there anything I can give you to show my appreciation?
Actually, I did have my eye on that crucifix you're wearing.
Ah, are you looking for spiritual guidance, my child?
Absolutely. Particularly if it guides me to something hidden in St. Juniper's Church.
Then I shall give it to you with my deepest thanks. Let it guide you to where you want to go.
I had nothing.
What a relief! My Bible returned to me. Why, if I hadn't gotten it back, we would have had to cancel the wedding.
I picked up the starter crank from the jalopy. crucifix slid smoothly into the indentation, like the final piece in a jigsaw puzzle. Pressing the button, I noticed something had changed in the stained glass window. Whatever mechanical process it used was a mystery, but pressing the button caused the panes of glass to tilt, ever so slightly, so that the white light from the fort was split into 4 different colors that seemed to dance around the window. The crucifix I'd received, I didn't need the top of the stained glass window consisted of 4 circles, each with the lighthouse light illuminating the window. I could now make the top of the stained I couldn't see it. Whoever. Good evening, Ed.
Murphy, I was walking. You would.
A hole? You know, I have seen it. Almost went. Are you sure you.
Of course I didn't.
Maybe it was.
Moles?
Is that the same?
That's right.
Is there a way in?
Not that I. There's a local but if it's written.
What's that car?
Beats me. But now that you mention it, I do think I've seen that pattern.
I best.
Goodbye.
I didn't need to share that. As soon as the plates in the stained glass window clicked into place, forming a translucent cross at the center, I heard a rumble behind me. The sound of antique machinery somewhere beneath the stone floor. The uneven stone staircase descended beneath the church into a dark, narrow tunnel. Inside each arch were countless skulls embedded in. I didn't dare begin trying to count. I considered taking one of the skulls, but I considered taking one of the inside each I didn't want to. The passageway twisted far away from the church, finally emerging in a round room lit only by a pale shaft of moonlight filtering through a narrow hole above. Tombs surrounded me in solemn silence. I had found the sanctuary crypt. I couldn't read an imposing wrought iron chandelier. The brickwork was crumbling, and although I couldn't dislodge it with my bare hands, I could tell it wouldn't take much force to break through. I needed to know what was on the other side of that. You're free now, Yardley. He can't keep you imprisoned anymore.
So you are the mortal who is trying to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor before me.
Rackham!
You know who I am. Surely you must also know that you have started down a foolish path. It will only end in your death, Murphy McCallan.
What you've done to Abigail Belmore cannot be allowed to continue.
Abigail Belmore is dead, as will you be, if you continue this pathetic charade.
She deserves to be free, just like all the ghosts of the manor.
Don't let it be said I didn't warn you. If you're so interested in being friends with the dead, perhaps it's time you joined them. Just as Yardley Belmore was entombed alive, so shall you be.
Rackham's spell had transported me somewhere I couldn't immediately place. I was lying down, my arms pinned to the side of me, my hands only able to feel the grain of the wooden boards to the sides and above and below me. And then I heard the noise, something thudding on the boards above me. That's when I realized I was being buried alive. By the time I finished drilling, I fumbled in my pockets and took out the screw jack. With each crank, the Hey! Could you get me out of here?
Murphy? What are you doing down there?
Trying to not be down here.
I'll go fetch a ladder. Don't go anywhere.
Where do you think I could go? Before I'd even reached the top of the ladder, Edgar had fled to the safety of his shack, far away from the grave where he'd inadvertently tried to bury me. But one good thing had come out of it. Now I had Yardley's key. I couldn't see any way to whoever. Good evening, Edgar. Can you believe you almost buried me alive?
If anybody asks you, that never happened.
I found a way into the sanctuary.
You got yourself in there? I thought that...
I certainly did. The pattern on the entrance was...
Well, I'm envious, Murph.
A dank old...
For some, but I see a nice, quiet... Those skeletons in there don't know how good they are. In my opinion...
I best...
Goodbye.
As I stepped across the stone threshold of the crypt, it struck me that I was the first person to do so in decades. Footsteps that Yardley... The crank slid into the gear mechanism perfectly. I'd heard of throwing a coin down a well to make a wish, but never of throwing yourself down. I just had to hope a 30-year-old rope could still hold my weight. some luck, I found I'd landed on a metal platform jutting out into the hollow of the well. Clearly, I wasn't the first person to come down here, although the previous visitor might have arrived here more gracefully. I picked up the rope and the spindle it was attached to. Unless I planned on jumping even further down into the well, the alcove looked like the only route out. But as I ran my hands over the bumps in the darkness, I couldn't find anything but cold, wet stone. If there was something there, I'd need some illumination to find it. An alcove in the well was shrouded in dark. Nope. That didn't work. Knowing how flammable the grease-soaked cotton would be, I took a match out of the matchbook, careful not to drop it onto the wet floor, and ignited the torch. The torch burned brightly, dancing light, and that's when I saw it, hidden within the rock. I pressed the button and immediately heard the sound of sparking electricity, seemingly coming from within the rocks themselves, and then the passageway meandered like a labyrinth through the underground rock. With each step, I felt more and more lost and ready to turn back. Then up ahead, I saw a glimmer of light. A small metal. I looked into the chasm. The top of the stairs appeared to be a dead end, but the wooden board blocking my way and the muffled sounds of electricity. I couldn't do that. Nope. In the darkness, I placed my hands on the obstruction and pushed. I emerged into a dimly lit office that seemed to have been taken over by frighteningly active machinery, and from the familiar groaning of wood, I realized where I was. The scrawls looked like I could identify words. Papers were strewn throughout the room. The scrawls looked. I could identify. It didn't feel. I didn't want to interfere with this. This must have been surrounded by blood-stained cloth. The murder weapon was. I solved your treasure hunt, Cecil. I hope you don't mind me taking this as my reward.
I grow weary of your inability to heed my warning, Murphy McCallum. No good shall come from you pursuing this.
I will get to the Belmore treasure before you.
Do you think this is a game, Murphy McCallum? You are toying with things beyond your understanding.
I think you're just nervous that I'm closer to finding the treasure than you are.
You haven't learnt, have you, McCallum? Everything you've done so far has just made the situation worse. Now is the time to back out.
I'll never do that, Rackham. Finding the treasure is more important to me now than it's ever been.
Then I hope it's a cause you're willing to die for. Just as Cecil Belmore's blood poured from his body, so shall yours.
Rackham's telekinetic powers had dropped me onto the mill's conveyor belt. My wrists and ankles now tied with the same wire that was strewn about the mill. But at least the buzzsaw wasn't on. And then it got even worse. With inches to spare, the belt snagged on the warping wooden frame and gave me a chance of escape, acutely aware that it could catch again any moment and send me hurtling into the spinning blade. With my hands and feet bound, I couldn't reach my belongings. Carefully, I held the wire wrapped around my wrists against the spinning blade to cut through them like butter, just like it would do to me if I couldn't get my ankles free. With seconds left, I hacked into the wires with the scissors and just managed to cut through them. With my legs free, I swung myself off the conveyor belt. I had survived being cut in half, and now I had Cecil's key. The hatches were locked. So this was the generator that the water wheel was powering. This was what was bringing the spark of life to Cecil's. The large machine looked like something out. It was a length of old rope that had snapped in the well, tied with a loop at one end.
Welcome back.
I have some more.
Ask a...
I should get...
Nathan.
I'd already carried, and the bag was empty of everything. It was a book. I had more urgent. It was a book on magic tricks, open to a double-page spread about vanishing a loop. It was a large The chest contained only a myriad.
Hey, Mac, the waters around here contain all I reeled in an icebox last week. Just need a lure in a sink, and I could rent. Anyway, if you see old Felix, ask him if...
I decided the fish was far too hot to pick up. I had more... The fish was far too hot. I didn't need to... The room was dominated by a large wooden billiard table. Its The billiard table was... The stocky man stood over the billiard table, wielding his... That didn't... I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I didn't... I didn't think Captain... I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I didn't need to show him that. I didn't need to set fire to... What do you think of this matchbook?
Felix is back to give it. Last week, he tried... They're the only fortune...
What do you think of...
You'll have to give a lady more than that.
I did... That wasn't going to work. I thought I didn't... I couldn't... Hello again.
Hello again.
Ned Kipps wants...
I'm afraid we're not serving food tonight from undercooked fish. But if we did need some, I'd be rather wary of getting it from the Dead Nettle Pier based on the rumors. A horseshoe. I wonder what a candlestick and a cat...
I best...
Farewell.
The puppet show hadn't... I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
Welcome back!
I had nothing... There was no way... If I wanted it, that didn't work. That didn't... I didn't need to look. I didn't That wasn't going to work. It was an ornate display. I didn't need. I didn't need. There is nothing else. No. I didn't need to. That didn't work. Good evening.
Hello.
I found this.
The rumors were true. Makes you wonder if.
What other story?
That the first monks came to the island to imprison Ash.
I best.
May God.
What?
He definitely. I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I was pretty sure the Colonel would prefer something with more of a kick. I didn't need. I didn't. I did. That wasn't going. This must have been the skeleton. I need. That wasn't going. Nope. I decided I had more. To make use of that, I needed. I didn't. I needed to think of something else. I didn't. The fish I'd supposedly caught was now slow. I didn't need to do that again. I thought I... What do you think of this?
That's some nice work. A lot of the sailors who work the Belmore ships.
I decided... The fisherman sat on the edge of the dock looking at... What do you think of this?
I didn't know you were...
Well,
you could have fooled.
The fisherman sat on the... I did... I remembered a container I'd used earlier that night, about the size of the fishbowl. took the chamber pot back off the machine.
Welcome back!
The chamber pot would make a respectable... Would you be able to polish my...
Goodness me!
Oh, you know, just the...
I don't know how anyone does this much tearing while...
With Jasper distracted, it was time for his fish to move into its new porcelain-throne home. Hopefully it didn't suffer any indignity at the change of residence, but then, being a goldfish, it would probably soon forget anyway.
Here you go. I've wrapped it in a little tissue paper that...
Thank you.
But really, sir, this many polishings in one... I certainly understand the appeal of a good flash, but I don't know how many more times...
It was a sheet of semi-transparent tissue paper. I had nothing...
Welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Take a seat.
Will this work as a crystal ball?
Considering our circumstances, we will have to make do. Xavier Belmore, Hear our cry! Where does your mortal body lie? I sense a cave on the island coast. Waves thrashing, wind howling, and two figures exploring its darkest depths. Xavier and Rackham. Rackham has lured Xavier here, promising an unparalleled expedition to the bold adventurer. But it's a trap. I sense Rackham fleeing the cave, leaving Xavier as the water rises and rises and rises. Look at the painting. Xavier's body still lies in that coastal cave. I feel much danger there, but you must get a boat and cross the sea to reach it. I sense something in Xavier's bedroom might help you locate it.
Weapons weren't my The walls of the room. I reached up and took the map from the frame. As best as I could tell, this was a genuine pirate treasure map. The island I recognized as Devil's Rock, but what stood out, at least it was a bear rug. What was one... I stared at the glassy... The latch on the trunk was broken. I would have to do without whatever was inside. That didn't work. It was a wooden trunk covered in stickers from... That wasn't going to work. It was a sheet of semi-transparent tissue paper. I didn't have time for housework. Hello again, Sebastian.
Oh, it's you again.
Not playing hide and...
I've outgrown it.
Sore loser.
I didn't lose. You cheated.
A paddleball?
My mum found it for me after I told her I wasn't getting the tip.
It's not even your birthday.
That doesn't matter. Bet you can't do...
The little brat had me there. Like hula hooping, unicycling, and stilt walking, my facility with a paddleball was on par. Shouldn't you be getting ready for the wedding?
I'm not the page boy anymore. I've been demoted.
How did that happen?
Well, before I started playing with this paddleball, I found a marble in one of the bedrooms. A super-sized one, perfect for bombing.
Whose bedroom?
One of the guest rooms. Mr. Beaumont's, I think. He's certainly lost his marbles.
What did you do with it?
Like my dad taught me, I'm keeping Mum on that one. All I'm going to say is that it was a big mix-up. Mrs. Craddock must have had her sense of humour surgically removed.
So, you think you're...
Better than you'll ever be.
Bet you can't do the paddleball with your eyes closed.
Look and learn.
I didn't want to damage the furnishings. With Sebastian's eyes closed, I took out my scissors, and when the timing was right, snipped.
Hey, what happened to my paddleball?
The ball just snapped right off there. Maybe you need to practice a bit more. With any other child, I'd feel guilty. With Sebastian, it felt like evening out the cosmic balance.
I bet Mallory was behind this.
I picked up the red rubber. I had an idea, one that required skill, subtlety, and finesse, or at least the ability to hurl a billiard ball through an open doorway. Yoink!
Did you just touch the table?
Absolutely not.
Ow! Who threw that?
Hello again, Captain Pemberley.
Welcome back, Captain McCallum.
I'd like a rematch at English billiards.
Thinking you can beat what I hit before? Step right up. I don't believe it. I've never seen 14s before. You must have arms like the coupling rods on a steam train.
A blessing and a curse, as I've discovered more than once to my own cost. But I don't like to boast. Does this mean I win the trophy?
I'm afraid it does, but you need to bring it back next Wednesday for the potluck. We'll have a rematch then.
With my newfound title as club billiards champion, it was time to claim my trophy. I loaded the billiard spherical and solid metal. I packed in the gunpowder and makeshift cannonball. Now there were just 2 steps remaining. Aim and fire. Whoa! The cannon looked like it might still work. If it did, I knew. I was only going to be able to fire this cannon once, and I needed to make sure. I needed a way to. The central tower of the lighthouse light was shining. An old cannon. The cannon looked like it might still work. I was only going to be able to fire. I needed an old cannon still. That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work. It was a tattered pirate map with a large X drawn in red along the. I was only going to be able to fire. I needed a way to make it. The lighthouse light. That didn't work. The cannon didn't need a fuse. That didn't. Crossbone Cove lay at the bottom of impassable rocky cliffs. If I wanted to reach it, that didn't work. I'd like to charter your ferry, please. I have a map here to... Huh? What's that?
Shh, shh, quiet! The show's starting. Signore, signori, ladies and gentlemen, the magical mystery of the theater comes together with the artistry of the craftsman. I was going to say that. You're interrupting me. You started it. This is very unprofessional. To present to you the fantastical battle between good and evil, a struggle between right and wrong. I just said that. The timeless tale of Pulcinella. I was supposed to announce the title.
Hey guys, I don't think I'd ever been... Great show. I was starting to dislike these guys. Perhaps it was the piratical air that brought to mind the mimicry skills of a parrot. If Squawkin' Hawkins could do it, maybe I could give it a try.
You're speaking over my lines. I'm not speaking over your lines. You're adding in lines that weren't in the script.
That seemed to get one of the puppeteers riled up. I didn't need... That didn't. That seemed to get... I didn't. Hey guys, I was starting to... I didn't have... I needed... I didn't... That didn't. That seemed... That seemed to get... A stick puppet looking like the devil honked obnoxiously as he danced around the... A stick puppet resembling a clown bobbed along the... It was a sheet of... I could... I need... No. That wasn't going to work. Nope. I could... That didn't work. That didn't work. That wasn't going to work. Nope. That wasn't going to. That didn't. Excuse me? About the...
Yes.
Because of the pup...
You got it. My favorite part.
I had nothing else. It was strange to think that Hello again, Mrs. I heard you had a run.
Oh, goodness gracious. You must...
That's right.
That little deviant was supposed to be making himself... Instead, with a single flick, Sebastian managed to bounce his marble off the skirting board, ricochet it...
Well, kids will be kids, I suppose.
It wasn't a marble at all. And you know what he said? He said...
I'll leave you to...
How
I had nothing. Good evening, Colonel.
What? Why, thank you.
I didn't need to search for a book. I considered looking through the boxes, but I considered looking through. There was nothing. I had already taken. I picked up and. It was a battered suitcase that I deduced belonged to the pianist. The pianist wouldn't have... Examining the over... Hello, Rupert.
Hello again, Murphy.
You mean the...
Well, you needn't put such a negatives personally.
I suppose if the Grim Reaper showed up in a glittery tuxedo jacket instead of a hooded cloak, we'd all be much more...
Exactly. I used to think we were reincarnated.
Why did he...
Well, it was... We used to have monthly past life. You'd dress up as...
What happened?
It was a disaster. By the last... They decided... We had one. The finals. They got in a fist fight. He said afterward.
Who did he...
Anne Boleyn's my best. She had green sleeves, didn't she? And I often have such a splitting headache. How about you, Murphy? You think you had a past life?
If so, I can't imagine what I did to deserve the life I've got now. Can I attend one of...
If we get them up and running again, you need to pay the membership fee, though. I know. I thought it was expensive when I joined up. You only live once.
Did you say Rackham took...
That's right.
Huh?
What did he want to know?
He was asking which ones could drug a person. Ended up right.
What happens if...
Just a few leaves in a cup of tea would have you There are no ill effects once you come back round, though. And for all the plants here...
Unless you're bricked up alive before it's more... Do you have any
I don't. It was all missing the morning after Rackham asked...
Well, no time...
Goodbye, Murphy.
The automaton's hand had closed. What I once thought... I didn't have... Don't worry, Abigail. Playing the phone... There wasn't anything to do with the lantern. On the wall, the coat of arms depicted 4 lions surrounding a central flower, topped by a medieval tower. A coat of arms was carved in stone above the staircase. That didn't. The cannon looked like... I decided to... The central tower... With so many coves and caves along the coast, it was difficult to make... The ragged coast, with so many... The instructions on the fireworks said... The central tower... I didn't... I was only going to be able to... I needed a way to...